Greetings. It's been a while since I did a video, or at least a video that I've uploaded, and so I decided it was time to talk about this. Time to at least do something. Because it's probably been, I'll say, 7 or 8 weeks since I've uploaded a video. But I actually did a video 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was early in the morning. I had basically not slept all that much in, I'll say, 4 or 5 days in a row. I'd slept less than 5 hours. A couple of those times I actually slept less than 4 hours. And, you know, that's part of my life. Sometimes I have slept up to 7 hours, 7.5 hours. Most of the time, if I get to 5 hours, like I have this morning, then I have to count that as a win. Because for years, I didn't get that much sleep. Anyway, it was around the time that Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, that's his real name, or was his real name, he had passed away, and I had hated him for a really long time. And so I had been thinking about doing a video. And I should have done the video probably within 3 or 4 days of his passing away, but I had, like I said, other things going on. And so one morning I decided I'm going to go ahead and I'm doing this video. And the parameters weren't right, because even though I had my camera and I had my mic, what I didn't have was the memory of a lot of things that he did way earlier in the 90s. It was in the 90s when I started seeing certain things about him, and I didn't like it. When he left the WWF, or WWE, I think it was WWE at that time, when he left that, he went to this other thing, and right now, I can't remember it. And I don't care, because that's not really the point of this particular video. What the point happens to be is that I couldn't remember the names of the other places he'd gone to, because I'd never watched any of those things. So I just knew he left. He left with some other people who had also been with WWE for a while. And, you know, I didn't care. They were gone. You know, WWE still had The Rock, still had Stone Cold Austin. So I didn't take the time to go back and do the research on the other WWE things he had done, or the other wrestling things that he'd done. I knew about some of the bad stuff he'd done, but I didn't go back. So when I did the video, I just totally messed up. I mixed him up into all these different things. And I did a video where I only had basically 25 minutes before I had to go to work. And so I just decided I'm going to sit down and I'm going to just do this video. And that is the catalyst of making a bad video. Now, you can sit there and say that almost everybody can easily make a bad video. But if you're trying to make a good video and it's a bad video, that's a bad thing. So I figured I would give a few points here, a few ideas, and we'll see how this goes. So one of the things I should have done was I should have done some of the research up front, remembering everything he did. And I could have put it just on a notepad. I could have put it on this thing. Now it's called a copy holder. You can get it at Staples. And I've used this in the past. And so you could do that. So I could have had my written notes. Or I could have opened up Word, Microsoft Word, and listed all the things that I wanted to talk about, and then change the color. I've done that in the past, by the way. I had a video that was almost 40 minutes long, and I had 13 points that I wanted to talk about. And I wrote them all down. Well, you know, I typed them all up. And then I made the background black instead of a light blue, which is the color that it usually comes initially with Microsoft Word. And then I changed the color of the font to a yellow. So yellow on a black background was very easy to see. so that I could go ahead and do the video. And because I knew what my points were going to be early on, then I did a brief, what do you call it? Rehearsal. I did a brief rehearsal so that I would at least know, okay, this is pretty much what I want to talk about with each one of these things. And so that's what I did. And those actually turned out to be kind of interesting because, you know, I had enough people who came in, they saw those videos, and, you know, I'm not hitting thousands and 100,000s for the most part. I've got some videos where I've hit more than 50,000, which is shocking. I appreciate that. But, you know, in general terms, it's just something that it doesn't happen to a lot of people. And, you know, I hope to have some more videos that end up going to 1,000, but we'll see about that. However, the idea is to prepare and be prepared when you're ready to do your video and have the wherewithal of telling yourself, you know what, that's a bad video. Stop that thing and I'll do it another time. Or maybe I'll do it, you know, a half hour later. Or maybe I won't do it at all. Because this is actually the third time that I've started doing this one. And it's just what it is. So, you know, I'm going to continue making some videos. Hopefully, I'm going to get back into the groove. I've got to do something on my other channel also because I'm behind on that one. And we'll see how it goes. But I needed to do something because I've just got to get back into the groove again. That's just how it is. And I'm getting close to another age milestone. And I'm going to be depressed about it, at least that day. Then we'll move on with life. I have come to the conclusion that it's better to live longer than to be upset because you've gotten older. That just means that you're hanging around long enough, and that should be good enough for all of us. So I wish y'all the best of the day, and let's see how this goes. Take care.